Hello, today we are going to talk about affordability in Arizona and where are the top three locations that we have the most affordable house in Arizona. Welcome everyone. This is another episode of Market Update. And in this episode, we specifically talk about, we are going to look at some of the affordability information. We do actually have a very fun fact that I want to share with you at first. And then we actually look at affordability change in Arizona market, as well as some of the comparison between rent versus buy, and then determine where are the top three locations to buy affordability house in Arizona market. With that, let's dive right into the information. First, let's look at the fun facts that I want to share with you. This is one of the articles shared by the Arizona APC 15 channel, right? In this episode, in this article, they specifically say that Arizona is now one of the 10 least affordable state for home buyers. And this is as of March 7, right? Well, that's okay. I mean, different people has a different opinion. But the funny thing is the next thing, I think 2 weeks after they changed their mind, they're actually saying now Arizona is one of the third most affordable state to live in. Yeah, data analysis shows. Okay, so this one I want to show to you is that when you look at the information, we have to know the source of the information. And this is not the scope of this video to talk about why this is the wrong information and why it is not. But I just want to show to you the importance of knowing the source of the data, so that we can make the right adjustment, especially if you are investing into real estate. You do have to have some good information about how to correctly evaluate the data. All right. So with that, let's go right into the real data. Oops, sorry, I read something wrong. With that, let's go to the real affordability data. Okay, this is one of the data provided by the National Association of Home Builders. Okay, and Wells Fargo all together. Okay, so with that, we're gonna be able to see that first of all, the affordability in, I'm not sure why it's keep doing that. The affordability in Arizona has been dropping. Phoenix, Arizona has been dropping since Q3 of 2020. Okay, now when you compare to the LA market, right? The reason why compared to LA market is actually that is the least affordable state, affordable area for the entire country, right? 2.7. So the number 2.7 means that out of all the houses sold within quarter 4 of 2024, only about 2.7% of the house is affordable to the home buyer. Okay, now I'm not within the scope of this video as well to explain what affordability is and how it is calculated, what kind of income level it is compared, right? If you're interested, I'm more than happy to discuss with you. But in this video, I basically show you at the high level what this number means, right? And 2.7 for the LA, 21.7% for the Phoenix market. So it's still a little bit higher, more affordable than the LA, about 10 times better than LA market. It's still, however, below the national average. Okay, so I'm not saying that Phoenix is the affordable area. Okay, when you compare to the nation, there's going to be more other area that is more affordable to live in Arizona as well. What I'm saying is that it's not as the worst. For the matter of fact, if you look at the top 5 most affordable based on the source here, we are talking about LA is the number 1, Anaheim, San Diego, Oxnard, and San Francisco. Just to be make sure that you see it, 4 out of the 5 is already in California. All right, so those are the states that need to worry about. For Arizona, yes, there is a problem with affordability right now, but if we talk about the list, it is not the case yet. Okay, now let's look at some of the data, more important data in my opinion, to point out to you how are we going to find out the best area, the top location of Arizona. Okay, I'm trying to find a balance. Okay, I think this is good. Okay, so in front of you right here is the rent per unit by bedrooms number. Okay, the yellow line is, this is the rent data for basically multifamily unit, okay, for located in Phoenix, and the data is provided by CoStar, okay, which is the very reputable multifamily unit data for the entire country, not just for Phoenix, but for the entire country. Okay, so this data is collected by CoStar, and you see here the 3-bedroom actually have about 2,200. And then of course, the less number of the bedrooms, the cheaper, the less expensive the rent, right? But I want to focus on the 2,200 because right now we are going to compare this number with other number if with the mortgage payment if a person choose to buy a house, right? So obviously you see here 22 number, and this number hasn't been changed since 2021. It's go up and you go down, but it's gonna be around 2,200. So just keep that number in mind, okay? Then we're gonna see also the single family rent. This the next chart right here is a single family rent, which is as of February 2024 is about 2,100. Okay, this is specifically for the 3 bedrooms. Okay, 3-bedroom house. Okay, and this is actually based on the close price. The green line is close, all right, the one that actually signed the contract. The one blue that is kind of blurry in the background is actually for asking, okay, and obviously you see it's 2,200 here, but then at the end of closing is 2,100. There's a big gap here. We talk about that. We did talk about that in another video, but if you're interested in learning about the trend and the pattern, let me know as well. More than happy to share with you those information. Okay. All right. So we know that even if we rent a multifamily unit, 3 bedrooms, right, 2,200, and then if we rent a single family unit, 3 bedrooms house is average about 2,100. What about buying? Okay. So when you compare to be able to find out where is the location best to buy a house, where is the top 3 location that has the cheapest price, right, to buy, you have to compare between the rent and the mortgage payment, right? So this is the chart of the mortgage payment for the entire Phoenix area. Okay, so here's the green line is the median price for the home for the entire Arizona, greater Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, single family. Okay, and then at the bottom number is the interest rate. Okay, and then if we take into the account for the 2-1 buy down program, okay, we're gonna explain about that, but basically when you see that the purple line, the number in front of it, above it, is actually the monthly payment, the estimated monthly payment for the home of the 3 bedrooms, okay, of the 3-bedroom in the greater Phoenix area. Okay, so there's a couple of things that you have to be aware. Number one, the green line, the green columns is pretty much the same. Okay, pretty much the same. The size of the green line is pretty much the same. So it's basically doesn't change. The price of the house hasn't been changed since March of 2023, right? It's go up a little bit here at the beginning of 2022, but it has been going down, and since then it doesn't change that much. So around 365,000 for the average median price of the single family house in greater Phoenix area, right? But you see here the monthly payment change a lot. Okay, so why? The question come back is why the monthly payment change a lot? When the median price doesn't change that much? The answers come down to the number of interest rate. The interest rate is the one that dictates the the change of the monthly payment. Okay, now if you look at those information here, I kind of highlight all the estimated monthly payment around 2,200. Okay, the reason and below, right? And the reason why I do 2,200 and below is, remember, the rent price is actually around 2,200 for the entire Greater Phoenix area, right? So we can conclude the presentation by saying is this: affordability in Phoenix. When we talk about affordability in Phoenix, and when you compare between rent and the mortgage payment, as long as the interest rate, okay, as long as the interest rate go below 7, because actually you see here all the circle are below 7. As long as it go below 7, the housing payment for mortgage, if you buy a house, is actually equivalent, if not less than, for rent. So it may be better for you to buy a house at that time. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people are waiting for the interest rate to go down. Okay, so for that reason, is a lot of people hoping for the interest rate to go down at the end of the year, which I'll show you the reason why that happened in the next video. So next week video, if you're interested in learning about the interest rate and how it dropped and why it dropped toward the end of the year, I'll show you another presentation next week as well. Okay, but anyhow, this is the conclusion right here. Anytime that the interest rate go below 7, you're gonna have a very affordable house, and that compared to the rent price, right? Compared to the rent price, is much better for you to buy the house at that time. Okay, so based on that information, where's a good house then? Because here's the thing, this is under assumption that the housing has to be around 365, 378, 380, 363, right? And maybe some of you may laugh at me like, Long, there's no such house in my area. Where can I find those properties? Okay, and here you go. So if you're obviously it's still affordable, but the house has to be less than 400, right? So if you go to the Comfort Associate company website, and you have to have a subscription for it, okay, or you can just have me and I will share more information with you. Okay, the single family house for the starting home, okay, so those are the home that mainly like starter home, like less than 400. Okay, so normally people are gonna shoot for 1,200 to 1,500 within that square footage to be able to make them affordable, right? So for that area, there's 3 based on the color here. Obviously you see all the blue and the purple are the result. Okay, less than 400, from 1,200 to 1,500, single family home. Okay, those are the highest is Coolidge. Okay, about 255, very cheap. That's why it's purple throughout, right? There are about 11 homes sold, ranging from 22 to 220 and 310. Right? Maricopa is another one at 306. Median sold price at 306. 10 sales ranging from 225 to 680. There's some very big lot in Maricopa, so that's the reason why it's huge, but in median sold price is about 300. Last but not least, median sold price is 347. The number of sales is 37, and the range is from 285 to 425. Okay, so obviously those are the 3 areas, and of course there are more areas as well. But I'm looking at these as a 3 best example. Okay, I like those 3 a lot, especially Coolidge. If you like a very cheap house, that house has a lot. Okay, that is the only advantage of Coolidge. Otherwise, it's too far away. There's nothing development activities in that area. Maricopa is code name because it's very close to Chandler, the technology cities. It's easy to get into the Chandler and Gilbert and Tempe area for work. So that's the benefit there. I think the best area for those of you who are interested in the outskirt area is actually Buckeye. There's a ton of development activities around 303 here, as well as around 101, which could mean more and more potential appreciation in the future in the Buckeye area. All right. So those, for those of you who are looking for the first home ever to buy, unfortunately, you have to go further out, okay, to be able to find the affordable home. Some of you may say, "Oh, they're so lucky." I mean, maybe like your parents live in Arizona for like in 1990s and 1980s, right? And you say, "Oh, they're so lucky. They bought a house that's very cheap, and now it's appreciates so much, and they cannot even buy that house anymore in that area." Well, when they bought the house back in the day, Gilbert Chandler is nothing, right? Or even Scottsdale has nothing. It's similar to what Maricopa, Buckeyes, and Coolidge are today, right? So if you jump in today, potentially 20 to 30 years more, you're gonna have the pretty much the same area like Chandler and Gilbert nowadays, right? So those are my advice. Actually, going to the advice for the investor buyer, okay? Focus on the area that have a good appreciation. I know that some of you may want a property that within a good area always have a high demand on rental, but sometimes we have to sacrifice some of the high demand area for an area with less competition. I'm talking about home buying because obviously those are the area that home buyer do not want to focus on yet, right? They meant to be, they want to focus on the city area, right? So those are the area. I actually have an investor bought a lot of houses in Buckeye, actually 10 houses throughout the countries, throughout the state. And out of those, they have 3 in Buckeyes, and they actually think that Buckeye is the best for them. Even though sometimes you might thinking, okay, Buckeye is too far away and it's difficult to find tenants. Yes, you can. You can find tenants in Buckeye as well. There's some people that are willing to go over there just because they don't have to go to work on campus anymore. They can work remotely, and they would rather pay less in rent, save more, and then become the homeowner later, right? Which is one of the strategy that the tenant should have as well. Don't stay in the hospital. Don't stay in the. You have to trade off. Right? That's what I meant. You have to trade off the convenient. Go out a little bit if you want to buy a house later on to save up money to buy a house later on. Okay, that's investor buyer, investor seller. Okay. So if my advice for investor seller is that because of affordability and because a lot of interest rate, like the interest rate gonna depict a lot of movement in the housing market, right? For the buyer to make the decision. My advice is that you should be flexible in terms of offering for concession, because that is the number one of the concern right now. In fact, a lot of new build communities, they are willing to do so, and they are attracting a lot of home buyers for that reason. Home builder can offer 4.99 or even 5.5% interest rate, which is much better than 6.5 and 7% interest rate on the open market. If you are able, as an investor seller, offering the same, if not equivalent, not much different, then of course you're gonna be attracting buyer even if you are in the outskirt area or in the center of the cities. You still be able to attract buyers from that reason. All right, thank you so much everyone for watching today. If you do have any question about all the information I have in here, feel free to contact me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you. Have a good day.